Hi! We love berries at our house. We especially love them when we grow them at home. And today we're going to show you all about how to grow blueberries.
If you like this video, please subscribe and like.
Now, because this is not the East Coast and I don't live in coastal Oregon or Washington, my soil is very alkaline because there's very little organic matter in it. So because of that, we're going to be planting these blueberry bushes in these lovely repurposed nursery pots, which we're going to fill with compost and a mixture of peat moss, and also some of these. These are some organic sulfur pellets, which I purchased off Amazon a few years ago when I had some in-ground blueberries in my yard in Eastern Oregon. This will make sure that the soil stays acidic. You're going to want to use a lot of peat moss. If blueberries do not stay in a range between pH about 4.5 and 5.5, they just won't be happy and they will not produce.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
In order to prepare the proper soil mix, we are first going to start with some compost. It's important that you make sure you get two different varieties of blueberries so that they properly cross-pollinate. Well, there are different kinds of varieties of blueberries. Because I live in Wyoming in a cold climate, I want to make sure I get northern high bush varieties. There's also half high as well. If you live in the south, you're going to want to get a southern high bush variety. These bushes are easy to find. I just got this at my local Home Depot, and I would actually recommend getting them there because you can't beat the price. They're like 13 bucks. If you buy them in a nursery, you're going to be paying more like 30. The two particular varieties we have are Blue Crop and Blue Jay. Let's put in our plant. Make sure you break up the roots a little bit so that the plant has room to expand and isn't root bound. Now let's add some peat moss. Notice that the plant is well above the soil line and that there's still lots of room in the pot to add additional soil. That is because we need to add lots of peat moss to make sure that we keep that pH within that 4.5 to 5.5 range. Make sure to mix it well with the compost so you get a nice even mixture. This will help promote even growth. It's very important you keep the soil at the proper acidity. Otherwise, the plants will fail. As you can notice, I was fairly generous with the amount of sulfur pellets that I used. And the reason why is not only is my soil here in Wyoming alkaline, likewise my water is too. Let's throw in a little bit more sulfur pellets on top, just to be safe. Now we're all done. I top dressed the top of that pot with some more peat moss to again keep that acidity where it ought to be. One of our small gardeners decided to help. Do you like blueberries? We are going to use the same pot in-ground method that I used to plant the palm tree. We are doing this to make the bushes look like they are naturally planted in the ground, yet keep the proper environment and acidity, keep the plants healthy and producing. The soil in my front yard is super rocky, so to make the digging a little easier, I pulled out my trusty dusty Honda tiller once again. Now it's time to simply bury the pots to make them look like they're buried. To learn more about this pot in ground method, I will link a video in the video description about how I planted my palm tree so you can see it a little bit more in depth. All right, now we're gonna cover these bushes with some simple deer netting so the confounded deer that wander through my neighborhood don't come over here and devour these bushes. As you can see, they already have. But the damage isn't too bad, so it should outgrow it next spring. Not too worried about it. I've been on vacation, so it took me a little while to finish this video, but as you can see, it's already flushing new growth to repair the damage. So I selected this site right here because it's going to A, get full sun in my south-facing front yard, and it will look great right here along my front path walking up to the front door. That's one of the reasons why people plant blueberry bushes sometimes in their front yard, particularly if they live in an area with an HOA. Blueberry bushes look just like any other normal bush that is bland and generic and doesn't do anything. The bushes already came with some preformed berries. Super tasty. Now we will have many future harvests to look forward to in our Zone 4 Wyoming garden. So go out there and plant your own blueberries. You don't have to let your alkaline soil even stop you. Thank you so much for watching, and join us next time as we continue to grow within the shadows of the everlasting hills.